Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Trinity Talks. Today is episode 5, I believe, which is kind of crazy because I feel like it's already been 5 weeks. That's like so weird, you know? But in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how I survived online school and why I did online school, would I do it again, and what classes I took, and how I finished school a semester early. So for context, I live in Florida and I would still be in my senior year this year. I'm 17. I turn 18 in June. I think that's like everything you need to know. So, first thing I want to talk about is my freshman year of high school and COVID. So, I was like one of the COVID kids. Like, COVID started as soon as I got into high school. So, obviously, I start school in August of 2019, and then in that following February was like when like COVID kind of went like on the news and stuff. People were talking about it more, even though it like first case was in December or something. But yeah, I remember this very vividly. It was Valentine's Day, and me and my best friend we were walking to McDonald's because this day was also a Friday, and so McDonald's was right next to our school. So we just like walked there because why not? And I remember her telling me that she was nervous about COVID being on the news. Like, she was like, I'm scared this is going to be a thing. And I was like, don't worry about it. And then, like, a month later, we're out of school. That's, like, crazy. She, like, predicted it low-key. But, anyways, so that was my freshman year. I don't really remember a lot of my freshman year. Honestly, I feel like I've blocked it out because I didn't really have that good of an experience. I had, like, my best friend that I said, but I really didn't have that like other friends. Like, I had her friends, but not really a lot of my own by myself. And then the friends that I had, they were like not very good people. They were just kind of, like not good. So I really just had her. So then in March is when, the infamous, oh, we're going on spring break. Oh, they made it 2 weeks. Oh, we're never going back to school. That's when that happened. And then we had to do online school for the rest of our stuff. And I'm going to get into like what I mean by online school, but for this like part from April to May in my freshman year, this was just quote unquote online, like Google Classroom. Like our teachers would upload stuff as if we were still in the classroom and we would just have to do it from home. So that's what online was. So, and then it's summer break. It's from like, end of May to early August. That's how it is for me, at least. So, during the summer break, the teachers and stuff and the school board were trying to figure out what to do because, like, COVID just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And so they gave us the option to either come back to school. They gave us 3 options. It was hybrid, which is where you do it, like, not hybrid. Was there hybrid? I don't even remember. I think I'm making up lies. Anyways, there was remote, like where you would do it strictly online. There was something else. I forgot what they called it. And then that's when you would do it from home, but you would be on like a Zoom call. And then there was traditional, where you would go back to school. I think I made up hybrid. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, so I chose to do fully virtual, just like I didn't go on Zoom calls or anything. My little brother, and I'm going to talk about this more at the end, but my little brother, he did remote, like where he had to join the Zoom calls and stuff, because like I said, I'll talk more about this at the end, but people just learn differently. And my brother, he's just like more hyper, and he needs like somebody to focus on, whereas me, I can do stuff on my own pretty well, I think. I don't know. So yeah, that's like what COVID was. COVID started in my freshman year of high school. And then, so for my 10th grade year, which is my first year doing online, I was still with my school. I don't know how else to word it. So I went to a high school, and this high school, they like converted to online, like some teachers to online. After this year, I'll get into that. That didn't happen. So keep in mind that this is teachers from my school doing online school who haven't done it before. Like, these are regular in-person teachers, and now they've been converted to online. So I think before I start about the classes that I took in this year, I'm going to talk about the graduation requirements. And I don't know how other states are, but for Florida, at least, this is what I'm talking about, and this is like the most updated ones, the ones that I had to follow when I graduated. So I have it on my phone, so if I pause, I'm like trying to read it. So there's 4 credits of English. There's 2 different credit options, I guess I should say. There's 18 credit option and then 24 credit option. I did the 24 one, so that's the one I'm going to be talking about. So you need 4 credits in English, and those have to be English 1, 2, 3, and 4. Some you can choose what classes it is, but for English, it has to be those 4 classes. You need 4 credits in math, where 2 of them have to be Algebra 1 and Geometry. You need 3 credits in social studies, where each of them has to be 1 full one in U.S. history, 1 full one in world history, and then a half in each of economics and U.S. government, because people usually take those classes in the same year, so it makes 1 full credit. You need 3 credits in science, where 1 of them has to be biology and 1 of them has to be equivalent to chemistry, which I don't really know what that means. I just took chemistry, so I don't know what it means to be like equivalent. I think statistics would work, but I don't know. I know some schools say statistics is a math, some say it's a science. I don't know. So after that, you need 1 credit in PE. PE is like physical education. I'm about to say the other one. And then you need half a credit in personal fitness. Now, ask me what the difference is between PE and personal fitness. I could not tell you, but that's how it is. So you need 1 full credit in PE, half a credit in personal fitness, and then you need 7.5 credits in electives. And electives are classes that aren't your core 4. So your core 4 is English, math, science, and history. So, and then like anything else is an elective. And then you need 1 credit in a fine art, or I think they call it a digital art. So yeah, I got my fine art credit, or so I thought, in 9th grade when I took, it was called TV production, and we would help do like the school news and stuff. We'd be like the behind the scenes and stuff of that. But apparently that didn't count for a fine art, so I had to do a different class. But anyways, so in 10th grade, I took world history, psychology, chemistry, English 2, algebra 2, and social media 1. Social media was like a class where we just literally like learned about the effects of social media. It was quite easy, and both social media 1 and psychology were half a credit. So like for the first semester you take it, but you'd have to choose a different class for the second semester, you know? So in 10th grade, I really was struggling on like, I didn't know like what a good balance was. I would like wait for weeks to do my schoolwork, because in this part of the school, like the teachers honestly didn't really know what they were doing. And my algebra 2 teacher, I had to like literally go to like not the principal, but like my head guidance counselor about her, because she wasn't like doing her work, because she also had to teach in person, but she also had to do online as well. So I get that it was stressful for her, but she made it really stressful for me, and I'm not that good at math anyways, so I needed all the help I could get. Like, it was pretty bad. And then so 10th grade, I really did struggle a lot, and like I got a call from like one of my teachers, and it was like, you need to finish your work or you're gonna have to repeat this whole semester. And I was obviously terrified, because I did not want that to happen. So I had to pull an all-nighter, and an all-nighter. I stayed up for over 24 hours. It's the first and last time I've ever done that. Hopefully the last time, I guess. But yeah, it was really like bad. I had to stay up, had to write an essay. I was surviving on Dr. Pepper and coffee. But I don't know. I didn't like know Dr. Pepper had that much caffeine. Maybe it doesn't, but like I remember I drank like 3 of the mini cans of Dr. Pepper, and I was like hyped up, you know? But I got everything done, and I finished with pretty decent grades. I don't even remember if I can look. I finished with pretty good grades. I had like averages of A's and B's. The only C that I ever had was in middle school, where I took algebra 1, because you can take, here in Florida at least, you can take algebra 1 as early as 8th grade if you have like a good enough math score, which I did, but algebra 1 was like really bad. I was not that good at it, but it's okay. So yeah, I had like mostly A's and B's, like averages. Yeah. So that's really how 10th grade went. It was really stressful for me, and I was taking honors classes a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure the chemistry I was taking was honors, and then the English I was taking was honors, and I had to talk to my guidance counselor about putting me in like regular English and chemistry, because I just like was not like prepared for the workload, which I feel like is the fault of the teachers, but also myself because I didn't know how to like balance. I had no balance at all. I would do schoolwork for like 3 days straight and then I just stop. Like I wouldn't do a little bit every single day. So yeah, and then like I mentioned, social media and psychology, those are my electives. They were each half a credit. So the second semester I'd have to take 2 more electives. But the guidance counselor was like, oh, if you're so stressed, just don't. So like I didn't take 2 more electives that year, even though you're supposed to, but they put like a special note in my file. So yeah, I just want to say that like I struggled a lot in 10th grade, but I really did turn it around the next year in 11th grade. So I guess over the summer after 10th grade ended, I took a summer course, and this was the last course that I did with the school being online. I just don't know how to word it, but I took English 3, but I took only part 1. So there's 2 parts, semester 1, semester 2. I was taking both, and then some unfortunate things happened, and I had to get withdrawn from the second semester because I wasn't going to be able to finish it. But yeah, this was over the summer, so you only get, it's like from May to August, so you only get a couple months to finish. But I did finish the first semester of it, and yeah. So then that August, I withdrew completely from my high school because at this point, now I'm about to go into my junior year, the high school has completely gone back to in person. So if I wanted to do online school, I'd have to withdraw from my high school and enroll in the online program. And this is a completely separate school. I did Florida virtual school and then my county. So obviously I'm not going to say what county I live in, but Florida virtual school is like Florida virtual school. I don't know. And then you go through your county. So there's a county, it's not mine, it's called Broward, I think is how you say it. So they do Broward virtual school. So it's your county virtual school, but it's through the head program, FLVS, Florida Virtual School. So I enrolled in that. They have my county has their own office. I didn't even know about this until I really was on the district website, just bored and digging through all the schools that they had. And I was like, what is this? I've never heard of this. Nobody ever told me about this. So I started to look into it and I saw a lot of mixed reviews. On their subreddit, they say, oh, FLVS is so bad, don't do it. But then I saw a lot of good reviews on Google and stuff. So I was like, I think this is what I want to do. And I really had to convince my parents because they wanted me to go back to in-person school because they were like, obviously you were struggling in 10th grade, so why should we believe that you'll do good in 11th grade, And I never really was bad at school. And like I said, I got A's and B's, but the amount of times my teachers had to contact my parents for me to get the A's and B's in 10th grade was astronomical, So I convinced them. I was like, come on, you gotta let me do it. And then my mom, she was okay to let me do it, but she wanted me to make sure I had social interactions, which I think is a lot of people's concerns when you do online school, is that you're not gonna have any friends because you do online school, you have no friends to make. And that was kind of a hard thing for me to kind of realize. I realized I had to actually actively put myself out there and make friends. When you're at school, you sit next to people, you talk to people at lunch, you talk to people on the bus. You're constantly engaged with people, even if you don't want to be. You get partnered with people and stuff, so you're always talking to somebody. And so with online school, that was kind of a big challenge, but I did overcome it. So yeah. So now into 11th grade. In 11th grade, I took like I said, over the summer, I took English 3, Part 1, Semester 1, and then I also took, during the actual school year, I took English 3, Part 2. So now, I don't know how to, word it, but I'm a semester ahead with English. If I didn't take the Semester 1 over the summer, I'd still be doing Semester 1 during the year. So I'm now a semester ahead with English, and this is part of the reason how I, finished school a semester early. So I took English 3, Part 2, English 4, Part 1 during the second semester. Then I took Anatomy and Physiology. I loved this class so much. It was so interesting and fun, and I loved the assignments that we had to do. It was so fun. And then I took U.S. History, Pre-Calculus Honors, which I did not enjoy pre-calc. I don't like English. I don't like history either, but that one was more enjoyable than pre-calculus because that was awful. Like, I did not understand anything, and I'm surprised I survived with a B, not a C, because my goal for that year was to finish with A's and B's, and I don't think I did because I think I got a C one semester in pre-calculus, but maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. And then I took HOPE, HOPE. It stands for Health Opportunities Through Physical Education. So that fulfilled my PE requirement. And then I also took Digital Information Technology, which, like I said a few minutes ago, I didn't get my fine art credit, even though I thought I did. So I took DIT to fulfill the fine art credit. And it was pretty easy. If you took like any of the ICT courses, I don't know if that's just a Florida thing. I don't know. If you took any of those in like middle school, that's basically what it was. You learned how to use like Excel and stuff, and then you had to make a PowerPoint. It was only a couple assignments, to be honest. So that's all I took in my junior year, my 11th grade year. So before I move on, I want to talk about something else. I don't know what that noise was. If you could hear it, I have no idea what that was. Anyways, so there's this thing with Florida Virtual School. It's called DBAs. It stands for discussion-based assessments, and in those, you'll like schedule a time with your teacher, and they'll call you and they will ask you questions on the chapter. So usually most classes did it like by chapter. So most classes, they had like chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then inside those chapters were lessons. So once you finished, it would be like once you got like almost to the end of the chapter, because like you do the DBA and then you do a test. So the DBAs, basically they'd call you at the certain time that you scheduled, and then they would ask you questions, usually no more than 5. 3 to 4 was like the average that I like had, and they would ask you questions about the chapter, ask you to like describe stuff, and then at the end they would ask you if you had any questions for them. I usually never did because I hated these. This was one of the things I hated about Florida Virtual School, but you had to do them. These were like required. And I'll get into this at the end, I think, but like this is one of the things that you had to do to finish. So I never got over not liking them. I'm just really awkward, especially when people call me. It's like really bad, and especially because some teachers, they wouldn't call like right on the dot. I don't blame them, but like if I schedule something for 10, I'd be over there at like 9:30, so scared, and then they wouldn't even call me at 10, so I'd think, oh, they're not even going to call me, and then they call me at like 10:05, and then I'm scared all over again. It's really bad. I'm really anxious with phone calls and stuff, but I feel like this, like doing the DBAs, they kind of helped me get less anxious, but I don't even know, to be honest. So that's what a DBA is, and you had to do those each chapter. So like for DIT, the Digital Information Technology class I took, the teacher, she really liked to talk about herself, so she would really only ask like one question, and then she'd like tie that into an experience she had in school like many years ago. So not that I'm complaining, I only had to answer one question. My US history teacher, however, she would ask me like 6 or 7 questions per DBA, but like some I really wouldn't know. And my whole thing is I was nervous to not know the answer because I'm like, they're gonna give me a 0, and I never got a 0 on a DBA. Like the lowest grade I ever got was an 80%. The teachers really, they do want to help you succeed in the course, so they will like, if you, I just like would be like, oh sorry, I don't know, and she would tell me like how to find it. But on DBAs, it's literally written in the Florida Virtual School like rules or whatever. You can use the internet, you can use your notes, you can use whatever. So like, yes, I'd be sitting there Googling the question, sorry, but I try not to do that a lot, but some, like for chemistry in 10th grade, I had to because like it was so, like I didn't know anything. One time I like played an audio of like static because I didn't know the answer, so I had to stall. It was really bad. But that was 10th grade, and I tried to change my ways in 11th grade. But yeah, you could use the internet, you could use your notes, but sometimes I just like didn't have it written down or something. Like it was really bad because again, this is all up to you. Like you're kind of like the teacher and you're the student at the same time, because the teachers, they're there to help you, yes, but there's like the only way you contact them is the DBAs, and you have to do a monthly phone call as well. But most teachers didn't even do it as a phone call. They just sent a text to your parents and you would just reply, and then they'd mark that as the monthly phone call. So like, you didn't really communicate with these people other than DBAs, or unless you went out of your way to communicate with them, because the lessons, they were all like videos of, like, you know, like stuff you would watch in regular school, not like your teachers making videos. Like, this is coursework written by whoever, like a teacher, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, like the assignments, a lot of them, like, it was a mix of tests and actually assignments and quizzes. So tests and quizzes, obviously most of those are multiple choice, and so like a computer grades those, like they're graded automatically. But with the regular assignments, that's like, oh, write an essay, or like, I don't know, fill in these blanks. And so the teacher would actually have to manually grade those. So the only times you're really interacting with your teachers is when they're grading regular assignments or when they're doing DBAs. So it's really up to you as the student to finish your work on time, or to reach out if you actually do need help. So yeah, that's how that was. And I really enjoyed that because I don't like talking to people. I never have. Don't think I'll ever will. And it's just like not for me. I don't like to engage with people. So yeah, that's how my 11th grade junior year went. So over the summer after my 11th grade year, I took what's it called? I took not digital. What is it? Fitness lifestyle design. And this satisfied my personal fitness credit. Again, I don't know the difference between PE and personal fitness. I don't know how they describe that. Oh, yeah, I should have mentioned this earlier when I was talking about the graduation requirements. But in Florida, you also have to take 1 credit of an online course. Obviously, I was doing my whole year online, so I already satisfied that credit. But yeah, if you're just doing regular in person, you have to take an online credit. I don't know why. I guess they want you to get used to, like, computers. I have no idea, to be honest, but yeah. So, starting my 12th grade year, that was this past August 2022. Yeah. So, I took English 4 Part 2, because in my 11th grade year, remember, I took English 4 Part 1. So, I took English 4 Part 2, Economics, U.S. Government, Career Research and Decision Making, and Peer Counseling. So, peer counseling, this sounds like, oh, you're counseling your peers. But really, it was like how to counsel, like, your peers, or how to deal with stuff, like, for people your age. Like, you didn't actually have to talk to anybody except for the DBAs. And this class literally had 10 assignments. 10, like 10 assignments. Like, it was so easy, and they were all quizzes, I think, except for the last one where you had to write your experience in the course. And then there was, like, a final exam, and then that's literally it. Like, 10 assignments. I finished this class, like, in September, like, and the school year starts in August. The only thing with FLVS, you have to be in a course for 2 weeks to finish it. So, like, you could be 100% done at the 2-week mark, but you still have to, like, make sure your teacher knows that, like, you're still, like, in the course, even though you're completely done. So, I could have finished in those 2 weeks, but I like to pace out my work and stuff. And I'm going to talk about that more at the end after I talk about the rest of these classes. But yeah, so you had to wait at least 2 weeks to finish a course. And in those 2 weeks, if you didn't like the course, you were able to drop out without a penalty. And then you had to, like, obviously take a new class. But yeah, I never did that, I don't think. Yeah. Like, the classes I took, I went, like, through a lot of deliberation where I would go on the FLVS website, because unlike regular school, you can see all these classes, and it has, like, a little, like a demo, like, showing you what you might expect in the course. And I really enjoyed that, because for a lot of stuff, like, in 11th grade when I took anatomy and physiology, I had no idea, like, really what that was, and everything I Googled was, like, for college. But on the Florida Virtual School website, there's, like a thing that has, like, bullet points about the class, and then, like, a little video you can watch, and that really helped me, and I'm really glad I took that class, because I loved it a lot. But, yeah. So, and then I also took Career Research and Decision Making. This one is basically what it sounds like. There were, like, a couple career, like, what career is right for me quizzes to do. Decision making, like, how to make the best informed decisions for yourself. Don't, like, listen to others. I forgot what the guy's name was, but there were a lot of videos from this one guy. He was like an instructor. I think he was a teacher before, but yeah, the course was kind of led, quote unquote, led by him, because again, it's not led by anybody, but there were a lot of videos about him. So yeah, that's what that one was. US government, again, if you remember the graduation requirements I was talking about, this is one of them. US government is a half a credit class. So this one I did not like at all. I don't like I can't do history classes. And I know US government is kind of a mix of history, social studies, whatever, but I didn't like this class. It was like I learned a lot of stuff, but I didn't really like it. If I didn't have to take it, I wouldn't have. So I guess that's why they make it a requirement, because a lot of people wouldn't take it. But yeah, and then economics. Oh, I hated this class. It was so bad. It was awful. And this is another half a credit, so economics and US government combined make one full credit. And then English 4 part 2. This is semester 2 of the class, and I was just taking it in the first semester of my senior year. So all those classes that I just mentioned, plus the ones I took in my freshman year of high school, plus algebra that I took in 8th grade, those all added up to 24 credits. So so the semester ends in December, right? So from August to December, and then January to May. So I was done with all my classes. So I'm like, am I really done, or are they going to make me take like more classes even though I'm already done? So I contacted my guidance counselor, and he said that like if I was done, I was done. So yeah, I finished school in December, and I have been here ever since. Doing what? Nothing. I don't have a job. Yeah, I don't do anything. I'm just waiting for college to start. I could have started college in January, but I think I needed this break from January to May, even though it's almost over. Like, I'm supposed to start school in like August or September. That's crazy. But I think I just really needed this for my own mental health, because school, even though, like I just said, a lot of the classes I took were easy, it still was really draining on me and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so that's all the classes I took, and then I want to talk about why I did online school. I kind of talked about this earlier, so I'm not going to talk about this a lot, but I did online school because, number one, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I didn't like the high school I was going to. My older brother, he went to this high school, and he never, like, the teachers didn't like him. Like, there was a lot of problems, and those problems never were resolved. The teachers still weren't that good. They seemed to not enjoy their job, and like, when you don't enjoy your job and you're especially a teacher, people can tell. Like, you're like kind of ruining the education of a lot of kids because you are too, like, I don't know, afraid to find a job you actually like, you know? So yeah, I never really liked the school in the first place. I didn't have a lot of friends, and I wanted more free time for myself, because school, like I just said, I don't have a job. I haven't had a regular job before, but like with school, our school started at 8 a.m., 8:30 or something, and then it got out at 3. So you have to go to school from those hours, figure out when you're going to shower, eat dinner, do your homework, do whatever else, work on a project, whatever, and go to work if you have a job. So like, there's really no free time. There's this girl that I've kind of been talking to. We used to be friends, but she works at an ice cream shop, and she doesn't get home till 11 p.m. I don't know when her shift starts, but she doesn't get home till 11 p.m. And that just says a lot about, you don't get free time when you're doing regular school and a job or whatever else, you know? You don't do that. And especially if you have like how do you say it? Extracurriculars? I don't know. You don't get free time. It's completely impossible. And I didn't do anything in high school. Again, I want to clarify this. But I'm saying, if I had a job, if I had like band practice or track practice, like, when do you get the time to be a kid, and when do you get the time to be yourself and hang out with friends? Over the weekend, but like, I feel like you'd be catching up on schoolwork and stuff. So it's kind of like a losing battle at that point. So that's why I did online school, to give me the flexibility of being able to go out whenever I wanted to. Like, I kind of forgot what the real world was like, and that sounds so, I don't know, stupid, but it's really true. I did, because like, I go from middle school, the middle school gets out at 4 p.m., right? And like, here, like, it gets dark at like 4:30 sometimes. So like, by the time I get home from school, I rode the bus, and like, by the time I get home from school, it'd be like dark outside in middle school. And like, I'm not playing outside or, I don't know, doing whatever outside at 4:30 p.m. And obviously if my parents had to go to the store or whatever, they already went, like, during the day while I was at school. And then the same thing for high school. Like, it was 3 p.m. when school got out, but, like, the buses were always late in the mornings and in the afternoon, so I wouldn't get home sometimes until 4 p.m. And then again, it gets dark at 4:30. And anything that had to be done in the house, my parents already did that. Like, after my dad got off of work, or my mom, she's like a stay-at-home mom, so she has the flexibility to do whatever, whenever. And now that I do online school, my mom could be like, hey, do you want to go to Walmart with me? And I'd be like, yeah. Like, and you're like, Trinity, what is fun about Walmart? Nothing, but it's like you get to experience outside, and you really don't in school. And I feel like the whole school system is like a mess, but that's like a whole topic for another day, you know? But yeah, that's why I did online school, to give me the flexibility to be a kid, even though I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 17 and I'm going to be 18, but I'm still like 14. I think I'm mentally still 14 years old because of COVID. COVID, like, kind of ruined my perception of time. I feel like a lot of other people's, but I don't know. But anyways, that's why I transferred to online school. Next, I feel like it's kind of like an FAQ that a lot of people asked me is, do you get a graduation? Do you get whatever? Do you get a prom? Now, to be honest, I've got no idea about the prom thing. I'm not a prom person. I wouldn't go to prom if I had a prom. I feel like you do, but honestly, I could be wrong about this one. I feel like it was in the email before, because like I said, the school does have their own office building. The county school has their own office building where you can come and do stuff like that. But yeah. And then I kind of want to mention this. There's 2 different Florida virtual school opportunities. There's the county virtual, which is called FLVS Flex, or there's FLVS Full-Time. When you're doing full-time, you have deadlines and stuff. And I didn't mention this, but there were no deadlines at all for, like, there were no deadlines. There was, like, you had to stay, quote-unquote, on pace, which just means I think it was, like, you have to do 2 assignments a week per class to stay on pace, but a lot of teachers didn't, like, follow that, so, like, sometimes I would not do any assignments in the week for a class because I would be focusing on another class. I tried to put my efforts towards the longer classes and then focus on the shorter ones at the end because, yeah, like, I don't like to be stressed out during the end of the year. I'd rather be stressed out at the beginning and then have the rest of the year to kind of chill out. So, yeah, when you do county virtual, it's considered FLVS Flex. So with Flex, you get a graduation and you get a diploma and you get basically everything an in-person high school would get. When you do full-time, you don't get that. You're technically registered as a homeschool student, which means you don't get, like, anything else, like a graduation or whatever. So I actually do have a graduation. I just got an email yesterday that my cap and gown is ready to be picked up. So the offices, like, that the county's virtual school has, that's where you would go to turn in your Chromebook, and that's where you would go to pay the money for the cap and gown. We had to pay $75. Like, what? And I think you can keep them. I hope you can keep them after I paid $75 for it, you know? But yeah, my parents are actually gone right now to go pick up my cap and gown. I stayed home because I wanted to, but also I realized I hadn't recorded this episode. This goes out tomorrow in less than 24 hours, and I have to, like, schedule it and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, cap and gown, graduation, whatever. My graduation is next month, May. It's in, like, a little bit over a month, which is crazy. I feel like it's very surreal. Like, I don't know. Like, again, I haven't done a school assignment since December. So I feel like I'm already technically graduated, but I'm not at the same time. Like, I feel like once I walk across the stage, it'll be, like, very surreal and be like, oh, yeah, like, you're done with high school. And then I start college in August or September, whenever you start college. Honestly, I've got no idea. I don't even know when you, like, register for classes or whatever. So, yeah. So my goals for this year, like, since I finished school in December, I want to be more, I don't know, social? I don't know. I don't really want to be more social, but like, I should be more social, so I feel like I should say that. So I started volunteering at the library in August, and this is to get a scholarship that I wanted. It's called the Bright Futures Scholarship. I think it's Florida exclusive, and you have to do 75 or 100, depending on what tier you're doing, hours of volunteer work. I did the 75-hour tier. And then you also have to have a SAT or an ACT score of like the minimum number for that tier. And for the lower tier, for the 75-hour one, you have to have an ACT score of 25 or more. And for some reason, I've been convinced, since I took the ACT last year, I've been convinced that I got a 26. So, 75 hours, 26 on the ACT, that I meet the qualifications for the scholarship. Why do I go to fill out the paperwork and I actually got a 24 on the ACT? Where the hell did the number 26 come from? Because I've got no idea. So now I have to retake the ACT in June. So wish me luck, because I better get a 25 or higher, because I'm going to have a breakdown. Because I think about this quite often. It's really bad because I don't know. Like, I've been telling everybody. I feel like I've mentioned it on this podcast before that I got a 26. I don't know. I've told people, yeah, I took the ACT, I got a 26. I think my brain just likes to play little tricks on me, because that didn't happen. That was false information, So, yeah, I have to retake the ACT. But that has nothing to do with online school. I don't know why I mentioned that. But, yeah, I started volunteering at the library to do the scholarship, to get the hours for it, but also to kind of just interact with people, because like my mom said, she said I had to be more social, but with who? There's nobody in my neighborhood that's my age or anything. And so working at the library, it's like the staff there is the youngest girl is 22, I believe, and then it's a lot of middle-aged older women. It's only women that work there, which I think is really nice, because I feel really comfortable there. And then I know one of the volunteers. We've been trying to plan to hang out for a long time, because it's just been she had canceled because her mom was sick. I had to cancel because the rain. It was whatever. But we did end up hanging out last weekend, and it was really nice. So it's been a year, but I feel like I needed a break from being social, because I feel like my social battery was so drained from all these people that I had to talk to in freshman year and middle school. I never got a break, But now I feel really happy. I feel sometimes I wake up and I'm really bored. I kind of miss taking a class or something. I wish I could take just an elective or something, because I want to be able to, I don't know, just not have a purpose. That sounds very dark, but just have something that I had to do, I play Minecraft and The Sims. Do I have to do that? No. I want something where I'm held accountable for doing. So that's kind of why I do this podcast as well, just to kind of keep, just to do something each week, So, yeah, I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about, but honestly, I can't really remember, and it's already been almost 40 minutes, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah. Yeah, I got my 24 credits and stuff, and I finished a semester early because of my English class. Because of taking the summer classes, and there were no due dates or anything. It was your own thing. Oh, I can talk about how I stayed on track and stuff. So I use Notion. It's an app and a website where you can kind of put all your stuff in it. So I would make my own little Notion tables. I have one called 2022-2023 school year. Even though I'm not in school anymore, I could delete it, but I spent a lot of time making this thing, so yeah. I have what I call my little grade book, where I put all my grades for each quarter, and then I have my weekly to-do list, where I would write what assignments I wanted to get done on what days, because again, no due dates. You really had to do this stuff on your own. So yeah, I would, like I said, try to focus on the more assignment heavy classes and then do the last ones. But yeah, so I did say this earlier, but DBAs, they were required, but assignments, you could submit them blank. If you wanted to skip an essay, you could submit the Google Doc blank, and it would tell you how much the assignment, like what percent of your grade that was. So I will not lie, for some things in chemistry, I did like skip them because I really didn't know how to do them, to be honest. So yeah, but I would have to calculate how much that would affect my grade. So yeah, in the Notion database thing, I would have the assignment name. I would write down every single assignment name. And some classes had like 40 assignments, which sounds like a lot, but it really wasn't. Like assignments plus quizzes, that's not a lot. So I would type those all in, and then I'd have what type of assignment it was. Like, was it a pre-test? Because pre-tests, those didn't count for your grade. You had to do them, but they didn't count for your grade. Like, you could get every single question wrong. It would just be marked as exempt. They just want to see, like, what you know, kind of. Then I would mark if it was a pretest, a quiz, an assignment, a DBA, or a final exam, which was basically just the last assignment of the class. It would just be called segment 1 exam or segment 2 exam. Then I'd have the date that I finished it, and then the grade that I got on the assignment, and then any of my own personal comments that I had to say, because those were really funny that I read back. Like, I really was going through it. Like, I wrote a lot of stuff in those comment sections of my own, because obviously I can't write it in the comment section of the assignment. My teacher would probably give me a 0. So, yeah, that's how I survived online school as as somebody who started school when COVID began. I know, like, the people who were in school who were, like, seniors when COVID started, they didn't get, like, a graduation or anything. But I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talk about the class of 2019 who started in 2019, because you don't get any of that. Like, there was no way to, like, figure out high school because it was so messed up. And obviously that's nobody's fault, but yeah, it was pretty rough. So I'm class of 2023. I graduate next month. Give me, like, a congratulations in the chat. If you've graduated high school, let me know, because I'm really nervous. Not for really anything in particular, but it's just going to be, like, long. I know that. And I don't know. There's, like, a rehearsal thing that we have to go to. And I guess I'm going to figure out where I'm sitting. I hope I'm sitting kind of at the end, because I want to leave. If I can. I want to leave early. No offense to these other people. But, yeah. It's combining us with a different high school, a smaller high school. So it's going to be the county virtual students plus this other high school. Yeah. And then I'm class of 2027 for college, which is crazy. I really don't. This is a whole other topic, but I really don't want to go to college, to be honest. I'm kind of scared for college in that sense. But yeah, that's, like, I could talk about that, like, in a whole other video, you know? So that's it. That's everything I wanted to talk about this episode, how I survived online school. Next week is... What is next week? Let me look on my phone. Next week is April 28th. I'm going out of town this weekend. Like, today is Thursday the 20th as I'm recording this, and then I go out of town. I think I'm leaving Sunday the 23rd. But we get back on, like, Tuesday. We have to go out of town for my brother. He has a thing. So, as long as that thing goes well, it's he has to have a MRI on his heart. So as long as that goes well and stuff, I should have an episode next week, and that episode is going to be about what it's like working at a library. I don't actually work there, I volunteer there. Hoping to change that, but I'm going to talk about all that next week. I'm going to have, on Spotify, there's a video podcast option, which on most of the episodes, it's just, like, the thumbnail for the whole video. But I think I'm going to add in, like, some little clips of some pictures and videos when I do that episode, just to, like, kind of show you, like, what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's for next week. So I should see you guys next week. If I don't, I'll see you the week after that. Just gotta, make sure everything's okay with my brother. Give him some, like, good luck wishes in the chat. He really doesn't want to do the MRI because they have to inject him with some dye so they can, like, see the contrast on the MRI thing. I don't know, to be honest, how it works. I'm not a doctor. But that's all I want to talk about this week, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.